Welcome everyone. I'm Matt. This is Desiree.
Hello, hello.
We're here on September 12th, 2016. It's a Monday, and this is your intermediate class recap. So today we are talking all about individual body mechanics. We spent some time talking about posture, talked about how the spine is not a straight line. So when you try to have good posture, or stand up straight, and you stand up here, that's not doing you any favors, right? Because it's an S shape. So you have to acknowledge the base of the S is at your hips and your tailbone. So when I'm standing up, I'm thinking about keeping my hips a little bit tucked under me to maintain that actually good posture. We did some practice dances where we danced with terrible posture. Some of the followers were called drunk.
Oh no.
And then we danced with better posture. We did the same thing. We talked about shoulders, how you want to have your shoulders rolled up, back, and down. And take a deep breath, exhale out, drive the energy down to the floor so you're not holding a lot of tension in your upper body.
Yep, allows you to naturally relax and open your chest instead of forcing it open.
Yeah.
It'll do you no favors.
Likewise, we did that, dancing terribly, terrible shoulders. And then with better shoulders. And for both of those, you observed how much easier it was to lead and follow and have that connection. I think one person used the phrase, the connection drastically suffers when shoulders and posture are not in place.
So that's something we can keep in mind. Again, just do spot checks in our social dancing. We don't have to be perfect at it, but once a night when you're social dancing, check your posture, adjust into the future.
We talked about knees, how what can tend to happen, especially for leaders since they're stepping backwards, is that the knee never finishes. So you wind up always having what's kind of like an unfinished knee, which is sort of like talking in sentences that just sort of trail off, as opposed to they end. So we did some practice dances where we had two bent knees the whole time, and it was pretty weird. We had practice dances where our legs bend and straighten, so we finished the knee. And then just for fun, we did the practice dances where our knees never bent. They were always straight the whole time.
This is great to get on video. I'm just really excited.
And so it can be great. One thing that's important when you're doing these skills, which I didn't mention in class, is that when you're trying to learn a new habit and to break an old one, it helps to tell yourself this is bad. Because if you don't tell yourself that this is bad, then your brain records this and this as two separate things. Versus if you tell yourself this is not what I want to do, this is what I want to do, then it records this is better and this is worse. We moved on, we talked about rolling through the feet, how you can articulate your feet and drive into the ground. It's something we've talked about a lot before, so we didn't spend a ton of time on it. But likewise, we had you practice not at all rolling through the feet, and then rolling through the feet. We observed how it's much more continuous. To me, I felt like my head is bouncing a lot when I don't roll through my feet, versus it's completely smooth when I am. And then, just for fun, we did all the things really bad at once and then all the things really good at once. So we had flat feet, bent legs, terrible posture, and really bad shoulders.
Just for entertainment value. Okay.
One more time.
Oh no.
And then we picked everything up.
This is better.
We're only going to do one of these, which is good. And then we talked about how, even though you can spend a lot of time working on lead and follow, just taking away bad things makes it a lot easier to lead and follow. So that can be something helpful to come back to.
Yeah. These are all things that we touched on in one form or another in our beginner lessons too, and you can continue to refine with this kind of added detail into it.
The last thing, we finished out with a discussion because many people had watched themselves dance for the first time or the first time in a while with the flash mob and were surprised at some of the things they were doing. So we talked about different ways you can video yourself. If you have a tripod, you can mount your phone at home and video there. If you have a laptop with a webcam, likewise, you can just point it at yourself. Hopefully you have a practice partner. If not, you could talk to some people. I know probably some people here would like to practice, if you want to talk to any of them.
You can ask someone at a social dance who you know well and you're friendly with, would you mind using my phone to video me at the social dance? Make sure you're not getting a ton of other people, but just that individual and your practice partner or someone who agrees to be filmed.
Yeah, we talked about giving your phone to a friend at a social dance or at a dance event and being like, film me at some point. So you don't know when you're on tape, but you know that you will have video. Because some people dance like this, and then they're like, hey, let me video you. Oh, okay. And so you want to know what you're actually doing, not just what you do when there's a camera in front of you.
Absolutely. Great discussion.
And we talked also you can practice in a mirror at social dances. Sometimes we've had dances where we're like, let's just spend the whole time in the mirror because you can fix things more in real time.
But again, with a practice partner, not someone who wants to have a fun, connected dance with you, because then it can seem kind of egotistical to be only looking at yourself in the mirror, not focusing on that person.
That was your class. Thank you all for coming, and let's dance with some of the lights on.
Some of the lights on. Thank you all.